Hello, I am Andrew Fluegel, and this is my story. When I was a senior in high school, I was expected to do one thing after high school, and one thing only. And that was to go to a great university to ultimately become a doctor. But oh, how wrong I was. About a month before the deposit was due for university, I had the privilege to be the sponsor for my friend's Catholic confirmation. Though I did not know that this would lead me to take the biggest leap of faith I ever had. During a short, one-day retreat, there was a man speaking. I can't remember the topic clearly, but what I do remember is that when he said this one sentence, my future would be changed forever. Not everyone is meant to do the same thing, to run the same race. As soon as I heard that, I knew I needed to make the decision to postpone college. So I canceled all college plans and ended up deciding to apply to AmeriCorps. Based on Perry's theory of intellectual development through integration of knowledge learned from others, personal experiences, and reflection, I made a commitment to a big decision. But even though I made the decision, the process of getting accepted into AmeriCorps was most likely the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life, where I experienced the next step of Perry's intellectual development theory, which is where I began to experience the implications of my choices and commitment. Everyone in my family, except for my brother, was against the decision. However, thanks to him, I was able to persevere through the most difficult situation I've ever faced. During AmeriCorps, I was stationed in Fort Wayne, Indiana, which is a city that has a sizable amount of poverty. I worked at a Head Start with preschoolers for the entire school year. At Head Start, every single child's guardians, or guardian in most cases, were substantially below the poverty line. Being a teacher there threw me out of my comfort zone, but that doesn't mean the kids didn't accept me with open arms. The first day I got into class, the kids latched onto me like super glue. They could never get enough of Mr. Andrew, and being there was one of the most fun experiences I've ever had. I was essentially a father that most of these kids would never have, which is heartbreaking to say the least. Based on Carol Gilligan's theory of development, I was at the transition state, where my responsibility included taking care of others and myself. After all, that's what preschool teachers and fathers do, right? As a father figure, I did my best to exemplify what the best father would, and I know I made an impact on those children's lives. Spending my summer at my brother's Vineyard Church in Urbana-Champaign, Illinois, is the final event in my story. I was only at the church for a month and a half, but it was easily the most transformative experience I've ever had in my life. My brother embraced me with arms wide open and allowed me to stay in his tiny one-bedroom apartment. When he said that he could never have lived with anyone else but me in those tight quarters, I couldn't help but smile from his words. When I was there, I experienced nothing but joy, love, and peace. Because I only experienced love and support, all of that positive light shined on me, so I fervently desire to shine the light on other people. Based on Lawrence Kohlberg's theory of moral development, I was experiencing stage 6, where I chose my ethical principles, principles that many people seem to be fond of. Whether that is love, kindness, peace, joy, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and or self-control. For me, being a genuinely pleasant person has not been difficult. I'm still doing that to this day. People seem to really enjoy my presence a lot, because I've noticed they really want to be around me. Many of them have actually told me. Maybe it's because of how I act and present myself, but I'm just myself, and having people like it is just a byproduct. And for that, I'm incredibly grateful. That was my story. And thanks to the people I've encountered and decisions I made, those are the reasons why I am where I am today. And that's why this is my story.